Hey Blink News fam, welcome back to another mystery-busting episode. This time we're taking a nationwide road trip, a strangest mysteries road trip that is. Each state in the U.S. has its own unique history, folklore, and of course, unsolved mysteries that have baffled locals and experts for years. Get ready to buckle up and put on your detective hats, because we're diving headfirst into 30 of the strangest unsolved mysteries from each state. From disappearing acts in the desert to ghostly sightings in abandoned towns, we'll be exploring a mind-boggling mix of historical enigmas, paranormal peculiarities, and unsolved crimes that continue to leave people scratching their heads. Will we uncover any leads tonight? Will these cases finally get solved? Maybe, maybe not. But one thing's for sure, we're in for a wild ride filled with fascinating stories and head-scratching enigmas. So, hit that subscribe button, grab your favorite road trip snacks, and get ready to explore the strangest unsolved mysteries lurking in every corner of the USA. Let's go. 1. Massachusetts, the Black Flash of Provincetown. The salty breezes of Provincetown, Massachusetts, usually carried the scent of the sea and the cries of gulls. But from 1939 to 1945, a different kind of chill settled over the quaint seaside town. It all began with the whispers of children, their wide eyes reflecting a terror beyond their years. They spoke of a tall figure cloaked entirely in black, its movements swift and unnatural. A low, guttural growl accompanied its presence, sending shivers down their small spines. News of the Black Flash, as they called it, spread like wildfire. Adults initially dismissed it as childhood imagination, a product of overactive minds fueled by ghost stories. But the sightings persisted. Parents walking home with their children swore they glimpsed a shadowy figure darting between buildings. Fishermen, used to the rhythm of the waves, claimed to see a dark blur flitting across the dunes under the pale moonlight. In 1945, the Black Flash went from a spooky rumor to a terrifying reality. A group of policemen on patrol encountered the figure firsthand. Their flashlights illuminated a tall, black-clad shape. Before they could react, the Black Flash launched itself over a 10-foot fence with inhuman agility, vanishing into the night. The officers, shaken to their core, reported the incident, leaving the town in a state of shock. The final encounter with the Black Flash was as bizarre as the previous ones. A local resident, armed with a pot of boiling water, claimed to have confronted the shadowy figure. As the scalding liquid splashed against the Black Flash, a blood-curdling scream pierced the night. The figure then vanished, leaving behind only the echo of its shriek. The townspeople never saw the Black Flash again. The mystery of the Black Flash remains unsolved. Was it a figment of collective imagination, fueled by wartime anxieties? Or was it something more sinister, a creature lurking in the shadows of Provincetown? The answer, like the salty sea breeze, continues to carry a hint of the unknown. 2. Michigan. What exactly is the Paulding Light? Deep in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, nestled amongst whispering pines and rugged valleys, lies the tiny town of Paulding. But beneath its peaceful facade lurks a decades-old mystery that has captured imaginations and sparked countless stories. It all began in 1966, when a group of teenagers swore they saw an otherworldly light hovering above a nearby valley. This wasn't your average flickering bulb. The light pulsed with an eerie brilliance, a beacon cutting through the inky blackness of night. Whispers swirled through the town like smoke on a crisp autumn day. Some folks believed it was swamp gas, a natural phenomenon fueled by the region's abundant wetlands. But for many, a more chilling explanation took root. Local legend spoke of a tragic accident that claimed the life of a brakeman. As the story goes, while trying to flag down a runaway train, he met his demise. Now, his restless spirit wanders the valley, eternally searching with his lantern in hand. Science offered a more grounded theory. Students from Michigan Tech University pointed their telescopes towards the light, suspecting it was nothing more than headlights reflecting off a distant highway. But even their explanation couldn't fully extinguish the flames of intrigue. The Paulding Light, as it came to be known, remained an unsolved enigma, a testament to the enduring power of local lore. This tale of the unexplained is just one of many that haunt the shores of Lake Superior, from ghostly apparitions spotted on storm-tossed waves to the chilling stories of ships swallowed whole by the unforgiving depths. The Great Lake holds its own treasure trove of unsolved mysteries. So the next time you find yourself near Paulding, keep an eye out for that flickering light in the valley. It might just be car headlights, but for some, it's a reminder of a bygone brakeman, forever searching for his lost train. 3. Minnesota. The Frozen Girl, Defrosted. The biting Minnesota winter of 1981 whispered a deadly promise as 19-year-old Jean Hillard found herself stranded on the side of the road near Langby. Her car, wrestled off course by the treacherous ice, lay helpless in a ditch. Lost and alone, Jean began the long, agonizing walk for help. By morning, the unforgiving wind had transformed Jean into a human popsicle. Her rescuers found her on the front steps of a local rancher's house, a statue sculpted from ice. Her eyes were frozen wide open, a silent scream etched on her face. Her body, rigid as a board, defied any attempt to take her pulse. A thermometer held against her icy skin yielded nothing. Her internal temperature had plummeted beyond its reach. Panic surged through the small town. Had the young woman succumbed to the brutal winter? Was this a tragic end to a wrong turn? The local doctor arrived, his expression grim. He tried to administer a shot, but the needle wouldn't pierce Jean's rock-solid flesh. It seemed all hope was frozen solid along with her. But then, a miracle unfolded. At the Foston Clinic, where Jean's seemingly lifeless body was transported, the impossible happened. Slowly, painstakingly, they began the process of thawing her. As warmth seeped back into her body, a flicker of life returned. Jean's chest rose and fell, a shallow breath at first, then stronger with each passing moment. News of Jean's miraculous recovery spread like wildfire. Doctors were baffled. How could someone survive such extreme hypothermia? The small town of Langby was abuzz with the story of the woman who cheated death, a living testament to the enduring human spirit, even in the face of a seemingly frozen fate. 4. Mississippi. Phantom Barber of Pascagoula. The sleepy town of Pascagoula, Mississippi in 1942 was anything but peaceful. A shadow had fallen over the community, brought on by a series of bizarre nighttime intrusions. Nicknamed the Phantom Barber, an unseen figure began slipping into homes under the cloak of darkness. The thief, however, wasn't after valuables or money. Their target was something far stranger: hair. Waking to find themselves shorn, residents were left bewildered and violated. Locks of hair, from children's braids to adult beards, had vanished without a trace. The only clue? A single window, often carefully pried open, hinting at the phantom's entry point. Fear gripped the town. Who was this mysterious visitor, and what dark purpose did these stolen tresses serve? Suspicion eventually fell upon a local chemist, William Dolan. Whispers swirled about his odd behavior, but the evidence remained circumstantial. Though some hair found near his home was linked to one of the victims, Dolan vehemently denied any involvement. He even passed a lie detector test, adding another layer of mystery to the case. To this day, the Phantom Barber's motives and identity remain a chilling enigma. Was it a prankster gone too far? A deranged collector with an inexplicable fascination with hair? Or something even more sinister? The answer, like the stolen locks, has vanished into the humid Mississippi night, leaving behind a tale that continues to send shivers down spines in Pascagoula. 5. Missouri. How Robert Rayford contracted AIDS. In the summer of 1969, A young man named Robert Rayford walked into a St. Louis hospital, a shadow of his former self. The 16-year-old had lost weight at an alarming rate, his body riddled with infections that baffled the doctors. They ran tests, poked and prodded, but no diagnosis emerged. Weeks turned into months, and Robert's condition only worsened. Tragically, he died within the sterile walls of the hospital, leaving a trail of unanswered questions and bewildered doctors. Fast forward a few years. A new, terrifying illness began to grip the world: AIDS. This mystery disease, characterized by a crippling immune system deficiency, seemed to have sprung out of nowhere. But then, a chilling discovery emerged. Medical advancements allowed researchers to test archival blood samples, and one particular case sent shivers down their spines. It belonged to Robert Rayford. The impossible stared them in the face. Robert, a seemingly ordinary teenager who had never traveled far from his Midwestern home, never received a blood transfusion. Yet, his blood held the unmistakable signature of HIV. This meant Robert hadn't just died from an unknown illness. He had died from AIDS, nearly a decade before the world even knew such a disease existed. His case became a medical enigma, a haunting reminder of how much we may not yet know about the world and the silent battles raging within our bodies. 6. Montana, the Vortex and House of Mystery. Deep in the shadows of Glacier National Park, nestled just 13 miles away, whispers swirl around a peculiar pocket of land, a gravitational anomaly they call the vortex. Here, the very laws of nature seem to bend and twist. Trees, defying logic, cling to life, their trunks stubbornly growing sideways in a valiant struggle against an unseen force. Travelers venturing into the vortex swear they shrink, not in imagination, but physically. Stories abound of folks losing up to 6 inches of their height as they cross the threshold into this bizarre zone. The heart of the vortex lies in a ramshackle building known as the House of Mystery. This unassuming structure pulsates with an otherworldly energy. Inside, the rules of physics seem to take a vacation. Roll a marble on a seemingly level floor and watch it defy gravity, defying logic as it inexplicably climbs uphill. Toss a rope from the ceiling, and instead of a straight drop, it hangs suspended in an impossible curve. The House of Mystery lives up to its name, a constant source of bewilderment and intrigue for those brave enough to step inside. Is it a geological oddity, a quirk of the Earth's magnetic field, or something more fantastical? The truth behind the vortex remains shrouded in mystery. But one thing is certain. This strange patch of land, where trees grow sideways and gravity takes a back seat, offers a glimpse into a world where the ordinary becomes extraordinary. 7. Nebraska, the Lucky 15. The crisp air of March 1, 1950, settled over Beatrice, Nebraska. Inside the West Side Baptist Church, anticipation crackled like electricity. Tonight was choir practice, and the 15 members were known for their punctuality. Mrs. Peterson, notorious for fretting over being a minute late, was double-checking her music. Mr. Henderson, a stickler for schedules, was already setting up chairs. Yet, as the clock ticked towards practice time, something extraordinary unfolded. Mrs. Peterson, usually the first to arrive, found herself tangled in a seemingly endless phone call with a chatty relative. Mr. Henderson, normally a picture of efficiency, discovered a flat tire that defied his usual swift repairs. One by one, the rest of the choir succumbed to a series of unexpected delays. A forgotten errand, a sudden downpour, a car engine sputtering to a halt. Each member had their own peculiar reason for running late. Meanwhile, within the seemingly empty church, a silent threat lurked. A natural gas leak, a predator hidden in plain sight, seeped through the building. The minutes ticked by, each one a beat of suspense. The church, usually bustling with the sounds of hymns and rehearsals, remained eerily quiet. Finally, the last choir member, flustered and apologizing profusely, arrived just as the clock struck the usual start time. But before they could step through the doors, a deafening roar shattered the stillness. The church, filled with the invisible gas, erupted in a terrifying explosion. Flames engulfed the building, reducing it to smoldering ruins in a matter of moments. The news of the tragedy spread like wildfire through Beatrice. Yet, amidst the devastation, a glimmer of miracle emerged. All 15 choir members, uncharacteristically late that fateful evening, were safe. Their tardiness, a source of minor annoyance just moments before, had become a twist of fate, saving their lives. The whispers started. Was it divine intervention? A cosmic nudge to ensure their safety? Or just a collection of ordinary delays aligning in an extraordinary way? The answer, like the silence that once filled the church, remained a mystery. 8. Nevada. Who murdered Tupac Shakur? In 1996, the music world was rocked by the tragic death of Tupac Shakur, a hip-hop icon whose life burned brightly and ended abruptly. But the story behind his demise wasn't a simple one-night tragedy. It was a tangled web of simmering tensions that had been brewing for years. 2 years prior, Tupac had survived a close call, a shooting at a New York recording studio. He pointed fingers at his rivals, producer Sean Puff Daddy Combs and rapper Christopher Wallace, better known as Notorious B.I.G. The accusation sparked a fierce East Coast-West Coast rap feud, dividing the music scene and fueling animosity. Then, on a fateful night in Las Vegas, Tupac was gunned down in a drive-by shooting. The murder sent shockwaves through the industry, leaving a gaping hole in hip-hop's heart. But the tragedy didn't end there. Just 6 months later, Notorious B.I.G. was also killed in a similar drive-by shooting in Los Angeles. Both Tupac and Biggie's murders remain unsolved, shrouded in an agonizing lack of answers. The events left a permanent scar on the music world, a chilling reminder of the destructive nature of unchecked feuds. Their deaths became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the fragility of life and the devastating consequences of violence. 9. New Hampshire. The disappearance of Rachel Garden. The biting New Hampshire wind whipped Rachel Garden's hair around her face as she walked home from Rose Corner Market on that fateful evening in 1980. The 15-year-old had just purchased a pack of cigarettes and some chewing gum, a seemingly ordinary teenage errand. But it would be the last anyone would see of Rachel alive. Rachel told her family she was planning to spend the night with a friend, a plan her friend vehemently denied. The trail went cold faster than a snowflake melting on a warm hand. A glimmer of hope flickered when a witness claimed to have seen Rachel talking to 3 young men outside the market. The authorities investigated, but the leads fizzled out like a damp match. No charges were ever filed, no suspects ever emerged. Decades crawled by, each one etching deeper the ache of Rachel's absence. The once vibrant teenager became a faded photograph, her smile a haunting reminder of a life stolen too soon. With every passing year, the case seemed to sink deeper into the mire of unsolved mysteries. Was it a tragic accident? A cruel abduction? The answer remained locked away, a cruel secret buried beneath layers of time and unanswered questions. Now, nearly 40 years later, the whispers surrounding Rachel's disappearance refuse to die. Her case stands as a chilling testament to the fragility of innocence and the enduring power of an unsolved mystery. Will justice ever prevail, or will Rachel's story forever remain a chilling echo in the quiet streets of Newton? 10. New Jersey. The Phantom Sniper. The summer of 1927 in Camden, New Jersey took a chilling turn. An unseen menace stalked the streets, a phantom sniper, some called it, a ghost in the machine according to others. Car windshields shattered with an unnerving crackle, the silence broken only by the tinkling cascade of glass. Even buses, thought to be havens of steel, weren't spared. panic gripped the city as the attacks escalated. One brave policeman, attempting to restore order, found himself inexplicably struck, not by a bullet, but by a strange, powerful projectile. Yet, the most unsettling aspect of this terror, there was no culprit, no wisp of smoke, no glint of a rifle scope, no discarded shell casings to mark the sniper's location. The attacks seemed to materialize out of thin air, leaving only shattered glass and a trail of bewildered citizens in their wake. One lone witness, forever marked by the experience, claimed to hear a chilling sound amidst the chaos, a man's laughter echoing through the deserted streets. But theirs was the only account, adding a layer of eerie theatricality to the already unsettling events. As abruptly as they began, the attacks stopped in 1928. The phantom sniper vanished like a wisp of smoke, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. What was the motive? Who or what was responsible? The mystery of the ghost sniper of Camden remains unsolved. A chilling reminder that sometimes the most frightening threats are the ones we can't even see. 11. New Mexico. What was really going on in Roswell? The scorching New Mexico sun beat down on Roswell in the summer of 1947. William Mack Brazel, a rancher tending to his sheep, stumbled upon a site that would forever change the town and ignite a firestorm of speculation. Scattered across his pasture lay strange, mangled debris unlike anything he'd ever seen. The wreckage was lightweight, yet incredibly strong, with strange symbols etched on its surface. The rumors crackled like desert lightning, a crashed flying saucer. The Air Force, ever the stoic force, swooped in, quickly claiming the debris belonged to a harmless weather balloon. But the explanation felt hollow. The Roswell residents, many of whom had witnessed the strange object streaking across the sky before the crash, weren't convinced. Whispers of alien spacecraft and government cover-ups spread like wildfire. The Roswell incident was born. For decades, the truth remained shrouded in secrecy. Then, in a dramatic twist, the military coughed up a new story. The debris originated from a top-secret atomic project. So, not aliens, but still, something the government clearly wanted hidden. The new explanation only deepened the mystery. If it wasn't a UFO, then what was it? And why the elaborate charade with the weather balloon? The Roswell incident continues to captivate imaginations, a testament to the enduring power of the unknown and the nagging suspicion that the government might not be telling the whole story.
12. New York. Who was the Leatherman? The whispers started faint, like the rustle of dead leaves in a forgotten corner of the woods. Tales of a shadowy figure, a man clad in leather, who stalked the border between Westchester and Putnam counties. This wasn't your typical wanderer, weathered and weary, seeking a day's work for a warm meal. No, this man was an enigma. He spoke not a word, his face hidden beneath the worn leather, his eyes like chips of flint under a wide-brimmed hat. Yet, a strange courtesy cloaked him. He wouldn't refuse a kind offer of food, his silence a form of gratitude. And every year, on the stroke of the summer solstice, he would reappear, a silent specter returning to the doorsteps that had shown him kindness. The Dell family, their sprawling farm nestled snug against the cliffs of Briarcliff, spoke of him with a mix of curiosity and unease. He was a fixture in their lives, this leather-bound mystery, a silent guest who vanished back into the woods come sunrise. Years bled into decades, the whispers growing louder with each passing summer solstice. Who was he? Where did he come from? What secrets did he carry beneath his weathered exterior? The questions swirled unanswered. Then, in the autumn of 1889, the whispers died down, replaced by a heavy silence. The leather-clad hermit was gone. Search parties combed the woods, the Dell family leading the way, their hearts heavy with a strange sense of loss. And then, nestled deep within a hidden cave on their own land, they found him. The enigma, the silent wanderer, his leather cloak now draped over an unmoving form. The mystery of the man in leather ended in that cave, his secrets buried with him. leaving behind only the lingering questions and the echoes of unanswered whispers.
13. North Carolina. The Shadow of the Bear. Deep in the crisp autumn air of Cashiers, North Carolina, there's a unique kind of bear hunt that takes place. Forget rifles and tracking. Here, the quarry is a fleeting shadow. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting long shadows across the landscape, a magical transformation unfolds on the slopes of Whiteside Mountain. The rugged outline of the mountain itself seems to morph, taking on the unmistakable shape of a mighty bear. This isn't a figment of your imagination, it's a real phenomenon known as the shadow of the bear. Local legend whispers of a powerful black bear spirit that roams these mountains, and some believe this is its nightly manifestation. But science offers a simpler explanation. The play of light and shadow on the uneven terrain of Whiteside Mountain creates the illusion of a giant bear silhouette just before sunset. Whatever the cause, the shadow of the bear is a breathtaking sight. Tourists and locals alike flock to Rhodes Big View Overlook, a scenic spot along Highway 64, to witness this natural wonder. With cameras poised, they wait patiently for the magic to unfold. As the sun dips lower, casting long golden rays across the valley, a dark shape begins to emerge on the mountainside. Slowly, it takes form, a colossal bear etched against the twilight sky. For a brief 30 minutes, the majestic shadow reigns supreme, a silent testament to the beauty and whimsy of nature. Then, as quickly as it appeared, the bear fades away, leaving behind the memory of a truly unforgettable experience. So, the next time you find yourself in Cashiers during autumn, ditch the hunting gear and pack your camera instead. You might just capture a glimpse of the elusive shadow of the bear. 14. North Dakota. Eugene Butler's Crawl Space. The wind whispered secrets through the skeletal remains of Main Street in Niagara, North Dakota. Founded in 1882, 40 miles west of Grand Forks, it was never a bustling metropolis. Today, less than 100 souls call it home. But a century ago, a darkness festered beneath the surface of this quiet town. In 1915, a gruesome discovery shattered Niagara's peaceful facade. Workers renovating a house, once owned by the enigmatic Eugene Butler, stumbled upon a horrifying truth hidden beneath the floorboards. A crawl space, long forgotten, yielded the remains of 6 people, bludgeoned to death in a forgotten act of unthinkable violence. Eugene Butler, a recluse who lived on the edge of town, had died in 1911, committed to a mental asylum years earlier. The whispers about him had always swirled. A strange man, living alone, keeping to himself. But no one suspected the monstrous secret his house held captive. The identities of the victims were a mystery as deep as the hidden chamber itself. Were they drifters passing through? Locals who vanished without a trace? The investigation yielded no answers, leaving a chilling vacuum in its wake. Niagara, a town seemingly frozen in time, now bore the weight of a horrifying secret. The 6 souls unearthed from the darkness became a grim reminder that even in the quiet corners of America, nightmares can lurk unseen. The whispers on the wind carried a new weight, a chilling echo of the unanswered questions that continue to haunt Niagara to this day. 15. Ohio. The Circleville Letters. The summer of 1976 in Circleville, Ohio, was shattered by an unseen hand. Anonymous letters began slithering into mailboxes, dripping with malice. These weren't your everyday crank letters. They were laced with chilling details about the recipients' lives, turning secrets into weapons. Fear tightened its grip on the small town as the letters escalated, morphing from taunts to threats. The terror reached a fever pitch when one resident, Mary Gillespie, vanished after receiving a particularly menacing letter. Her husband, Ron, raced home, a desperate plea hanging in the air. He found a cryptic note referencing the letter writer and, fueled by a righteous fury, grabbed a gun and sped off. Tragically, Ron's pursuit ended in a fatal car accident, leaving a community not only terrorized, but also heartbroken. Suspicion fell on Paul Freshour, a local man embroiled in a bitter divorce. Whispers swirled about his volatile personality, and a handwriting analysis linked him to the letters. He was arrested and convicted of attempted murder in connection with a booby-trapped mailbox incident. Yet, even behind bars, the letters continued to slither out, mocking the authorities and tormenting the townspeople. Hope flickered with Freshour's release in 1983. Surely the letters would finally cease. But a mere 6 months later, a new chill swept through Circleville. The popular television show Unsolved Mysteries aired a segment on the case, desperate to crack the enigma. Days later, a chilling response arrived at the show's headquarters, a short, ominous letter signed by the Circleville writer. It was a taunting reminder. Forget Circleville, Ohio. If you come to Ohio, UL Seacos will pay. Despite tireless investigations, the identity of the Circleville writer remains a chilling mystery. The letter stopped abruptly in 1994, leaving behind a legacy of fear and an unanswered question. Who terrorized a small town and vanished into the thin air, their secrets buried with them?